Good afternoon, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi joins Chhattisgarh Foundation Day celebrations in Nawa Raipur, interacts with children to unveil development projects worth over 14,000 crore rupees. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls for deeper Indo-Pacific cooperation at ASEAN Defence Ministers Plus meeting in Malaysia. Sudan's paramilitary force RSF claims arrests of fighter accused of abuses in El-Faser. UN demands probe into horrendous accounts of atrocities. US judge directs Trump administration to provide SNAP food aid benefits amid shutdown that hits its 31st day. Trump seeks clarification on funding food aid. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Nawa Raipur to participate in the 25th Chhattisgarh Statehood Day celebrations, where he inaugurated Shanti Shikhar of Brahma Kumaris, a modern centre of spiritual learning, peace and meditation. As part of Dil Ki Baat program, Prime Minister interacted with some 2,500 children who successfully were treated of congenital heart diseases in Gift of Life ceremony at Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Hospital in Nawa Raipur. And those are visuals of Prime Minister engaging with little children. They are beneficiaries of health facilities provided at the state-of-the-art hospital in Chhattisgarh. Prime Minister interacting with children as part of Dil Ki Baat program. Some 2,500 children were successfully treated of various heart diseases at Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Hospital in Nawa Raipur. He also had a special interaction with those children after distribution of certificates. The state of Chhattisgarh is celebrating 25 years of its foundation. And in Nawa Raipur, Prime Minister is engaging in various development programs. In these visuals, Prime Minister engaged with little children. These children also are beneficiaries of Gift of Life program. They've been treated with various heart diseases at Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Hospital in Nawa Raipur. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached the state capital of Chhattisgarh, Raipur, this morning and held a roadshow. He's set to inaugurate, lay foundation stones for a series of development projects worth over 14,000 crore rupees across key sectors such as roads, industry, healthcare and energy. Those are visuals of Prime Minister's roadshow earlier today. During his visit, Prime Minister reached out to some of state's renowned artists. He spoke with family of Padma Vibhushan. Tijan Bai, celebrated folk singer, inquired about her health and well-being. Prime Minister also called noted writer Padma Bhushan Vinod Kumar Shukla to check on his health. Prime Minister Modi will also visit and inaugurate the Shaheed Veer Narayan Singh Memorial and Tribal Freedom Fighters Museum. The museum will preserve and showcase legacy of courage, sacrifice and patriotism of state's tribal communities. Prime Minister will launch the museum portal and e-book Adi Shaurya honouring freedom fighters. Will also unveil a horse-mounted statue of Shaheed Veer Narayan Singh at the memorial site. A weaver from Telangana's Rajnath district has combined centuries-old handloom traditions with modern technology to create a tribute to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The shawl, named as a modified shawl, carries a QR code with the slogan Modi Mananadi, meaning Modi is our pride. Scanning the QR code opens a digital gallery of Prime Minister Modi's achievements, including Operation Sindoor, Chandrayaan 3, Vande Bharat Express, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and more. The shawl, which took 15 days to weave, was unveiled by Union Minister Bandi Sanjay Kumar, who called it a symbol of India's journey from handloom to high-tech. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, attended the second session of ASEAN India Defence Ministers meeting. The minister talked about ADMM Plus as a key part of India's Act East policy, saying it strengthens defence ties with ASEAN and Indo-Pacific countries, supporting regional peace and stability. Earlier on Friday, the minister highlighted a wide array of domains of India-ASEAN cooperation.
भारत के लिए एडीएमएम प्लस उसकी एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी और व्यापक इंडो पैसिफिक विजन का एक अभिन्न हिस्सा है। यद्यपि आसियान के साथ भारत का जुड़ाव इससे पहले से रहा है, लेकिन इस तंत्र ने डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन के लिए एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड प्लेटफॉर्म प्रदान किया है, जो हमारे डिप्लोमेटिक और इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट्स को और मजबूती देता है। भारत आसियान और प्लस कंट्रीज के साथ अपने डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन को क्षेत्रीय शांति, स्थिरता और क्षमता विकास में योगदान के रूप में अपना रोल देखता है।
Earlier on Friday, the minister highlighted wide array of domains of India-ASEAN cooperation and the role that this partnership is playing in addressing traditional and emerging security challenges in the region.
हमारी पार्टनरशिप मजबूत पीपल टू पीपल लिंकेजेस, कल्चरल एफिनिटी और पॉलिटिकल, सिक्योरिटी, इकोनॉमिक और सोशियो कल्चरल डोमेन्स में बढ़ते व्यवहारिक सहयोग पर आधारित है। इंडिया का आसियान के साथ इंगेजमेंट मल्टीलैटरलिज्म, इंक्लूसिविटी, इक्वालिटी और सॉवरेनिटी के रेस्पेक्ट पर आधारित है। डिफेंस और सिक्योरिटी कोऑपरेशन डिप्लोमेटिक और इकोनॉमिक इनिशिएटिव्स को कॉम्प्लीमेंट करता है। इससे एक होलिस्टिक पार्टनरशिप बनती है जो ट्रेडिशनल और इमर्जिंग सिक्योरिटी चैलेंजेस दोनों को एड्रेस करती है।
The minister said 2026 would be celebrated as ASEAN India Year of Cooperation. He shared India's viewpoint on freedom of navigation in the South China Sea.
रीजनल सिक्योरिटी ढांचे में इंडिया की भूमिका एडीएमएम प्लस और अन्य आसियान लेड मैकेनिज्म्स में सक्रिय भागीदारी पर आधारित है। भारत डिजास्टर रिलीफ, काउंटर टेररिज्म और मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी में योगदान देता है और साउथ चाइना सी में फ्रीडम ऑफ नेविगेशन तथा इंटरनेशनल लॉ के पालन का समर्थन करता है। मैरीटाइम सेक्टर में हमारे सहयोग को और गहरा करने के लिए आसियान और इंडिया ने वर्ष 2026 को आसियान इंडिया ईयर ऑफ मैरीटाइम कोऑपरेशन घोषित करने पर सहमति व्यक्त की है।
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met his South Korean counterpart An Kyu-pak on the sidelines of ASEAN India Defence Ministers meeting in Kuala Lumpur. Minister Singh also met New Zealand's Defence Minister Judith Collins and extended her invitation to visit India. Her visit will reaffirm the shared vision of India-New Zealand to build a forward-looking partnership in defence. Defence Minister also met his Vietnamese counterpart Van Van Giang in Kuala Lumpur. India and Australia discussed expanding military cooperation in areas such as amphibious operations and unmanned aircraft systems during the latest Army-to-Army staff talks, which were held in Canberra from 29 to 31st October. Both sides reaffirmed their shared commitment to regional peace and stability. The Indian delegation also paid homage at the Australian War Memorial and visited Royal Military College, Duntrum. In other news, India has dispatched a consignment of antiretroviral ARV drugs to Fiji, reaffirming its commitment to strengthening health partnerships with nations in the global south. The supply aims to support Fiji's public health initiatives and humanitarian efforts, reflecting India's continued role as a reliable partner in promoting healthcare, cooperation and solidarity among developing countries. The High Commission of India in London recently hosted a special welcome reception for Indian students arriving in the UK for the September intake. Designed to ease the challenges of settling abroad for higher education, the event served as a reassuring gesture, reminding students that they are not alone and that a strong support network awaits them. Our correspondent, Shrija Bhattacharya, gets us more.
Moving to a new country to pursue higher education is not easy, but the High Commission of India in London is trying to make that journey a little smoother for the newly arrived Indian students here in the UK. At a special welcome reception, students were able to connect with their peers, meet with their seniors, and also enjoy a special cultural program, all aimed at building community and helping them grow both academically and personally.
Hundreds of students registered for the welcome reception hosted at India House, the Indian Embassy in London, queuing up, eager to gain insights and forge connections with fellow students and professionals.
And I'm very excited to be at the welcome reception for Indian students because it is so interesting to meet fellow students from the Indian diaspora.
The evening began with a video montage highlighting the universities visited by His Excellency Vikram Doraiswamy, High Commissioner of India to the UK, as part of his outreach to Indian students. He also shared thoughtful advice with the newly arrived cohort.
So you will have communities that will help you settle and integrate. Staying connected with them is also important. It is a value at least in extremis.
The reception featured a diverse panel of speakers, including entrepreneurs, bankers, and doctors, who offered practical guidance on managing finances, opening bank accounts, maintaining physical and mental well-being, and navigating cultural transitions. Entertainment and fun were woven into the evening, with stand-up comedian Ahir Shah performing a stand-up routine, followed by vibrant cultural performances from members of the Indian diaspora.
As the new academic year begins, the High Commission's initiative stands as a reminder that every Indian student's journey abroad is not just about education, but also about finding that connection, support, and a sense of home away from home. This is Shrija Bhattacharya in London for DD India.
Moving on, India has created history in health sector under leadership of Prime Minister Modi. The Swasth Nari Sashakt Parivar Abhiyan has created 3 Guinness World Records. Let's look at the records recognizing India's unparalleled commitment to preventive and women-centric healthcare. The records are as follows: most people to register for a healthcare platform in 1 month, which is over 3.21 crore. Most people to sign up for a breast cancer screening online in 1 week, which is over 9.94 lakh. And most people to sign up for vital signs screening online in 1 week at state level, which is over 1.25 lakh. Prime Minister Modi had launched the nationwide campaign Swasth Nari Sashakt Parivar Abhiyan from 17th September to 2nd October this year in conjunction with Poshan Maha. India's city of Lucknow has been designated as UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy, recognizing its rich culinary heritage and contribution to India's diverse food traditions. The honor highlights the city's famed Awadhi cuisine and craftsmanship, positioning Lucknow as a global destination for food and culture. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Russia claims its forces struck Ukrainian defense industry sites and other military targets over past week. Protest and grief continues as Serbia marks anniversary of rail station roof collapse tragedy. Fresh US tariffs on imports of medium and heavy-duty trucks took effect from Saturday in the US. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has intensified as Russia claimed that its forces struck Ukrainian defense industry sites and other military targets over the past week, while Ukraine reported repelling multiple attacks and hitting concentration areas of Russian troops and equipment. Russian Ministry of Defense in its weekly update said its operations had targeted Ukrainian military industrial enterprises, energy infrastructure, military airfields and weapons depot. It added that air defense units had intercepted and destroyed 17 Ukrainian air-guided bombs, 10 US-supplied HIMARS rockets, 2 Neptune long-range missiles and more than 1,700 drones. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine outlined its defensive actions over the previous day. Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces RSF said they had arrested several fighters accused of abuses during the capture of El-Faser. At a war with the army since April 2023, the RSF seized El-Faser on Sunday, dislodging the army's last stronghold in the western Darfur region. After an 18-month siege marked by bombardment and starvation, the RSF released footage appearing to show Abu Lulu behind bars in what they claim to be a North Darfur prison. It pledged to ensure military discipline during wartime and promised a fair trial for those detained. On Friday, the United Nations voiced alarm at emerging details of executions, gang rapes and abductions in El-Faser. The UN said death toll could reach hundreds, while army allies have accused the RSF of killing over 2,000 civilians. Also, UN warned that the bloodshed was spreading beyond Darfur, with atrocities reported in neighboring Kordofan region. El-Faser's fall to the RSF gave it full control over all 5 state capitals in Darfur, effectively splitting Sudan along an east-west axis. The paramilitaries have established a self-declared rival government in Darfur. The army holds Sudan's north, east and center. US President Donald Trump on Friday denied he was considering strikes inside Venezuela, appearing to contradict his own comments from last week. Though amid intensifying expectations that Washington may soon expand drug trafficking-related operations, the US has built up a large military presence in the Caribbean in recent months with fighter jets, warships and thousands of troops. That presence will significantly expand in coming weeks with the arrival of Gerald Ford aircraft carrier strike group. It was not immediately clear if Trump was ruling out future strikes inside Venezuela or simply saying no final decision had been made as yet. On Friday, when asked by reporters on Air Force One if media reports that he was considering strikes within Venezuela were true, Trump said no.
They treat me with that kind of respect. They're treating our country with that kind of respect, which is much more important. And our country is respected again. Do you have any questions?
There are reports that you are considering strikes within Venezuela. Is that true?
No.
That you made a decision on that?
No, it's not true.
US President appeared to issue a lifeline on Friday for low-income Americans reliant on food aid, saying he does not want them to go hungry. A day before, some 42 million people could lose their monthly assistance. Donald Trump said he had instructed his lawyers to ask for clarification regarding court rulings that barred his administration from suspending food aid during the ongoing government shutdown. The federal judge in Rhode Island gave the program a temporary reprieve earlier on Friday, ordering the White House to use emergency funds to pay for food stamps during the shutdown in a case brought by charities and other groups. Now entering its second month, the federal shutdown has morphed into a slow-motion implosion of public services and growing economic convulsion. Without immediate intervention, millions of Americans will begin feeling the full force of the shutdown for the first time this weekend. Meanwhile, in an unprecedented move to respond to the ongoing government shutdown, 3 major early childhood education providers in Georgia have joined forces to secure an emergency loan to keep their Head Start programs open. The organizations announced on Tuesday they turned to the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta for help to keep more than 5,500 children across Georgia in the classroom. The administration says it has scrapped together enough money to cover Friday's payday for active duty troops, but acknowledges they could go unpaid by mid-November, and US air travel was beginning to suffer badly. The New York airports all under restrictions due to part of reduced staffing at control towers. Thousands of students from across Serbia gathered in Novi Sad on the eve of first anniversary of the rail station roof collapse that claimed 16 lives last November. The tragedy touched off a largely peaceful nationwide protest movement led by university students and professors that had shaken President Alexander Vucic's 13-year grip on power. Protesters say student movement reignited public engagement in the country. Demonstrators who have been marching to Novi Sad are demanding a snap election, hoping to unseat Vučić and his populist Serbian Progressive Party. The main commemoration in Novi Sad features 16 minutes of silence, followed by speeches by students. A new White House rule issued on Friday restricts the ability of credentialed journalists to freely access the offices of Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and other top communications officials in the West Wing near the Oval Office. The new memorandum from the National Security Council bans journalists from accessing Room 140, also known as the Upper Press, without a prior appointment, citing the need to protect potentially sensitive material. It said the change would take effect immediately. The White House move follows restrictions put in place earlier this month for reporters at the Department of Defense, a move that prompted dozens of journalists to vacate their offices in Pentagon and return their credentials. National Security Council said change was made to protect sensitive materials now being routinely handled by White House communications officials as a result of changes to the Council. Fresh US tariffs on imports of medium and heavy-duty trucks took effect from Saturday, although with partial relief for vehicles entering the country under a key North American trade agreement. 25% tariff on trucks alongside 10% duty on buses comes into place after President Trump's government launched a Section 232 probe into such imports to gauge their implications on national security. The vast majority of American truck imports come from its immediate neighbors, Mexico and Canada. However, the latest truck tariffs will not stack on existing duties applying to steel, aluminium, copper, autos and lumber, the White House informed. Trucks will be spared from separate reciprocal duties, setting out rates varying by trading partners too. In sports, FIDE Chess World Cup is being held in Goa after India became the central pillar in the global structure of the sport. Tournament opened in grand style at Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Indoor Stadium in Goa. as dignitaries, players and guests gathered for a dazzling ceremony blending culture, sports and symbolism. As many as 206 top chess players from 80 countries are participating in the tournament. World champion D. Gukesh enters as the top seed, leading a strong 24-member Indian contingent. Arjun Ergyasi and R. Pragnananda are seeded second and third respectively. The tournament includes wildcard entry Divya Deshmukh representing India. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan this QR code on the screen and download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Have a great day ahead. Namaskar.